A very good morning, welcome. Jeff Laughton online, Saturday the 7th of March, and what a busy day it is. And I put the alarm on for 4 a.m. this morning to get through it all, and please God let it be worth it. Now if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jeff Laughton. I've been a professional gambler for almost 35 years. I've been a jockey's agent for 2 former champion jockeys, and I've had 73 winners with my own horses. I've owned Group 1, Group 2 and Royal Ascot winners, so I've been around the block. And now I make my living purely from betting on racehorses. I set up this channel over a year ago now. It's not a tipping channel, but more of an educational channel. And whilst I cover quite a lot of races today, if you want to know what my bets are, then send me an email to the email that's listed below, jefflawtonmanagement@gmail.com. So on any given day, I would start today's racing at 11 a.m. yesterday. And then I'll identify the races I want to look at in depth on the morning of the race. So the early morning start this morning was because there were over 20 races that I needed to go through. Now that's not 20 bets. I actually have had 3 bets, but it's important to go through all 20 to find the 3. If you haven't seen the channel before, I'll tell you that I'm huge into figures. The figures that I use, which I collate myself on the flat, if they tell me a horse cannot win, then I tend to back off the race, because your eyes lie to you. Just because one finishes fast or goes 20 lengths clear, unless you can put a figure to that, you'll often be deceived by what you see. So that's why figures are so important to me. And people say that's okay for you because you got the figures as you do your own, but there are plenty out there that you can use for free. Racing Post ratings, they're free. And they're very good, and as are Timeform as well, so you can get all the figures that you need to use, and it's definitely worth a try if you've got a bit of time to spend. So let's get into today's racing, but remember, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, do that now. YouTube will then inform you when these videos go up. Now I've missed 2 days this week purely because the racing was so poor and there was nothing to tell you. So if you do subscribe, you'll then be informed and you're not waiting to see whether I put one up. So let's start at Sandown. Now this looks a very competitive card and one that I'm happy in the main to avoid. However, in the 4:45 I was really taken by Harry Derham's non-iron last time. They stepped him up to 2 miles 4 over today's course and distance, and he jumped particularly well on one going away. The 2nd and 4th in that race have already come out and won, and despite the handicap putting him up £6, he should be more than good enough to beat these. At Hereford in the 2:52, Joe Tizard's Western General won this race last year by no less than 22 lengths. That was of a mark of 127, and though he appeared to lose his form after, a wind operation earlier this year seems to have done the trick, as he won well at Chepstow last month. Now he's gone up £5 for that win, but he should still be good enough to make all here and beat his 3 rivals. In the 4:02, Nicky Henderson's Bective Abbey looks good enough to take care of these. He looks to have improved since going over the larger obstacles, and his 2nd last time at Kempton behind Viroflay looks smart form, with runners who finished behind him running some big races since. Up at Ayr in the 1:32, Kim Bailey sends Gatineau Park on the long journey north from his Chelmsford base, and he expects to win this race. He won well at Lingfield on his 2nd start over hurdles after winning an Irish point-to-point, and then was beaten next time by a very progressive horse of Ollie Murphy's, who won his next 2 races. His main opposition today is a fairly high-class horse from the flat, who ran off marks as high as 116 in his pomp. However, he's now an 8-year-old, and though he has won a race over hurdles, he certainly hasn't reached the same levels. He was staying on doggedly over 3 miles last time, but Gatineau Park should have too much speed for him today. In the 3:20, Triple Crown Ted splits his races between Kelso and Ayr, and though he hasn't won here, he did finish 2nd in 2 bumpers. He's raced prominently in his races, but has been a bit keen, and as a result they dropped him in last time at Kelso, when he made stylish headway from the rear to beat Lance Leday, who won yesterday. He's only gone up £4 for that win, but yet seemed to win with a bit in hand, and he could easily follow up today. Let's go to the all weather, and there is a very good meeting at Wolverhampton today. In the 3:15, Cool Hoof Luke is the favourite. Now, he won the Gimcrack Stakes, which is a Group 2, back in 2024. That was hellish form as 3 subsequent Group 1 winners came out of that race. However, we didn't see him for 526 days due to an injury, and then he turned up in a listed race at Lingfield and ran well until tiring, finishing 3rd. I'm told he's improved no end for that run, but an 8 draw over 7 furlongs on this track is a killer. And whilst he's the best horse in the race for sure, I don't really feel at this stage that I want to get stuck into him, as it could all go wrong at the start. If he does get away, he will be hard to beat. In the 5 o'clock, Elashgar of Kevin Frost was picked up for only £2,500 from Shadwell last October. Now, Shadwell had paid 125,000 guineas for him previously, and he only ran 1 race for them. He's improved on his last 2 starts, winning from a wide passage over 6 furlongs here last time. The drop back to 5 should be ideal for him today, and Jack Dace's claim means he runs £2 lighter than when he won last week. At Chelmsford this evening in the 5:30, Godolphin run an already gelded son of Maymas called Montevetro. Now, he cost an eye-watering 800,000 guineas, and he works quite well at home, although he's not one of the stable stars, but he could be up to winning this. It's not something I've backed, but just passing that on. In the 7 o'clock, Spenmore Lane has hit a rich vein of form and has won her last 2 races. They were over 5 furlongs, and she steps up to 6 tonight. It was only 5 days ago when she won impressively at Wolverhampton. She didn't look to be stopping that day, and she should be just as effective over 6. She carries a £5 penalty, but if she's equally as effective over 6, that won't stop her. Now, they are all the races that I'm going to cover today. I won't put a message up tomorrow, so I'll be back on Monday. Many thanks indeed for dropping by.